Hello and good morning. My name is Hani Junaid and I'm in MYP4. Today I will be doing an experiment on rate of reaction. So the effects of rate of reaction are increasing temperature, increasing concentration of solution, add in catalyst, increase in pressure, and increase in surface of a solid. My experiment is going to be on increase in surface of solid. So I'll be using potatoes as an example to do that. Okay, so now guys, I've gotten the materials. I've gotten 2 potatoes, I've gotten a peeler and a knife. You will also be needing some oil and a frying pan and a spatula to do the work. So the first step is to be washing the potatoes, which is what I've already done. And now you guys are you have to now peel the potatoes. So let's peel them. So now I've peeled both of the potatoes nicely, and you would want is that your surface should be clean at all times when you're working. So I'm just gonna take a tissue and wipe off my surface to make it very nicely clean. And yes. So next step is to actually cut the potatoes. Now you will want a few of the potatoes to be really small and the rest to be in like French fries type cutted. So I'm going to start by cutting them. Firstly, I'm going to cut the smaller sized ones, and I'll show you how I do it. You can cut the potato in half for both and do this. Now, you will just do it like you will cut your potatoes like French fries type. So I'm just going to do that. Now, you would cut them this way, and they will look really small, just like these. This is going to be the size of the potatoes. They're going to be really small, like peas, and you would want them to be small, so because that is what we want for our experiment. And I will go ahead and cut more of those. So I'm just going to stop the video for now, and I'll cut more of those, and I'll show you guys the next step. Okay guys, I've cut a lot of small potatoes, and these I'll be using as the mini ones. So the next thing that we would want is for our experiment is that we will cut potatoes in size of like French fries. So how we will be doing that is I have this potato right up here, and I'm going to cut it like vertically like this. They will be these sizes, and you will leave them this big, and these are going to be like the French fries one. If you want your size a little bigger than this, you could go ahead and do that, but I will just leave mine till there. And I'll cut all of these, and then we will start by doing our next step. So here we go. Guys, so now I have cut the potatoes. This is the smaller size that I showed you before. This is the cubic sized ones, and these are the vertical ones. They're a little bigger than those ones. So these are like French fries size. And now we will be frying them in a pan. So I've got a pan right over here, and I'm gonna lit the flame, and I'm gonna keep it on the high flame right now, just because so that it is easy to deep fry. If you guys want, you guys can deep fry in a bigger pan, but I will just fry them normally. So I will be using oil. I will put oil in here. I'll put a little more than usual, so here we go. Okay guys, so now I'm going to start by frying. I have gotten a bigger pan because I think I have a lot more potatoes to do. So I've got a bigger pan, it's the size, and the heat it's on the full heat, and I am now gonna wait for it to actually get warmer so that I can put the potatoes in it, and that will make it go, the reaction go a little faster. So I will just wait for that to get warmer, and then I'll put the potatoes in there. So yeah. Okay guys, as the oil is getting warmer, it's getting hot, so I will actually marinate this in a little bit of salt, which will actually give it a little bit of taste. If you want, you can do that. If you don't want, it's fine. We're just here to do the reaction, but I think this will just go, the reaction will make it a little faster. So
it's optional.
Yeah, so it's optional for you to do this. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of salt, and I'm gonna like marinate it with my hands on both of the potatoes. And yes, so we're just doing this like this. This you can do if you want. If you don't want, it's fine, but I like to do this with my potatoes when I'm making french fries, and this reaction is actually about french fries. So yes, I think my oil is also getting warmer. Now I'm just going to marinate that, and let's do the next part. So let's get in with our hands, and we're gonna mix it and put it on all of the potatoes. Okay, so I'll just start the time lapse. Okay guys, so now I have marinated both of the potatoes. I'm just gonna go and wash my hands quickly, and I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, by the time you marinate the potatoes and you're done with it, your oil will also be done warming. So now I'm gonna actually start by putting the potatoes. I will start by doing the big ones, and actually I'll do both of them together. If you want, you can do them together. If you want, you can do them alone. So I'll just start by doing the big potatoes alone, and I will just use the same amount of time for both of them. And this is what our reaction is, using the same time and seeing what happens to the potatoes. What is the reactant? What is the product? As our reactant is our time and the heat. Right. On this point, if you want, you can also check the temperature of the heated oil. That will just make a little bit of more variable giving to you for your experiment. But I'm not doing that. I'm just going to directly put the potatoes inside the oil, and here we go. You might not be able to hear me that well, so I will just be, because of this thing happening, so I'm just going to actually stir it and wait for it to cook. And till that happens, I'm just going to put a time lapse for that so you guys don't get bored. So guys, as I am waiting for them to cook, if you want, you can just stir them with your spatula if you want. That is what I was doing before, but now I'm just going to wait for it to cook. And you would want not to overcook it, because if you want, you can do a little bit goldenish, but I'm just going to not do that. I'm just going to do a very light golden thing. And before that, I've got a plate here for putting these, and I'm going to lay down some tissue paper in here for it to soak all the oil, because you don't want to eat that oil when you have those french fries. And I'm just going to put those tissue oil, the kitchen roll oil. You can use that oil. This tissue is used, actually they absorb the oil, so it's better to use these instead of the normal tissue rolls. And till this happens, I'm just going to wait for this to get done. Okay guys, so I think they're now all done, and now I'm just going to take all of them out nicely, and I don't want any one of them to break. And I'm going to go ahead and drain all the oil, and the oil that is left, I'll just put that in the tissue, and the tissue will absorb it. And here we go. guys, so we have now cooked the potatoes, and here are the potatoes over here. They have been cooked. Now we will be cooking the small ones. So by the way, we took how much time we took is that we took 4 to 5 minutes to cook these, and let's see, they might take lesser time, but that is what we will see. I have got a plate right over here, but and I'm gonna transfer these to pan. If you want, you can change the oil, but I'm just going to leave it the same. I've cleaned it, so there's no need to actually get a new, no need to put the new oil. And I'm just going to put these into the pan. And that's the one. Okay guys, now both of the potato batches are done. These are the ones that we did first. These are the french fry versions, and these are the small 2 big versions. This took 4 to 5 minutes, and this took 2 to 4 minutes. So it took a little less time, and they're done. Pretty much both of them are done. So the difference is that because of the surface of a solid, the surface of the potatoes of both the batches, this has a less surface area than that one, which is why this took a little lesser time than that one. This is the reaction. That means if the surface if the surface area is increased or decreased, then the temperature of the time may take less or more. And this also, but the temperature of the oil was the same for both of them. Or if we change that, then that will also make a difference in the experiment. So if you guys want to try that, you guys can. Another thing, if you guys are doing this experiment, do it with adult supervision, just because of the oil, the heat and stuff, because of that. And now one thing we can do now is that let's try both of them. I'm just going to wait a little bit for them to cool down, and then I'll get ahead and we will try them. Guys, so now I have got my brother here for testing, and we will just switch off the camera, and we're gonna test these. And here we go. Okay guys, so now we will be testing these, and here we go. First, let's try the bigger ones. You can go ahead and try those, and I'm just going to take out they're pretty good. They seem like you know. They seem pretty soft, right, like that. They're really moist and really soft from inside, which is good, but they took a little more time, so I think that is one thing they did. And I think that's also because of the surface area of the solid there. And now we can try the small ones. Go ahead. Smaller ones look a little this one's more crunchy. These ones are a little more crunchy, I think, just because they took 3 to 4 minutes, but because of the solid, the surface is a little smaller for theirs, so the time that 3 to 4, I think it was a little more, but which is why they got a little browner. As you guys can see, they're a little more browner than those ones, and that is why they're a little browner, because of the more time that was put into them. And yeah, that was all it. So we can now know that potatoes, the surface area of any object, the increasement or decreasement in any surface area of a solid may affect the other variables as well. Those variables could be time or temperature, and that is going to affect on the solid. This was all it for today, and this was all it for today's experiment on rate of reaction. I hope you guys learned something, and if you do, please like and share, and I hope
you enjoyed this video.